Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. So in today's video, we're going to be finishing off this set of nails I've done. So this is the last video up on my channel, was the Halloween pink and black set of nails. And I did say in that video that I would be doing the thumbnail separately because I wanted to do the thumbnail in real time. I get a few requests on my channel to do more real-time videos, but I do struggle to do a full set as a real-time video just because of time, and it takes a lot longer to edit and voiceover. So I do now and then try to leave at least or do at least one nail in real time. So I thought for this particular set we would do the main 4 nails in the set as a more sped up video, which is already up on my channel, and then I would upload the thumb separately and would do that in real time. So that's where we are today. Now off camera I have already done all my preps, applied my tips and a thin clear base, so we're jumping straight in with the acrylic application. And here I'm using Wowbao's Crown Sparkle. So I've placed this first bead of acrylic down at the cuticle area and I'm just blending it down. I want this to fade out, and I predominantly want it to cover the nail bed area. Now, although this is a kind of nude core powder, it's got a pretty sparkle in there, but I do find it a little bit sheer. So I like to work with it kind of thin and build up the coverage. So I've placed that first bead down and then I'm coming in with another small bead, pushing that up to blend it in at that cuticle area, and then using the tip of my brush, I'm just blending this down over the previous bead of acrylic, but keeping it in that nail bed area as that's where I want the most coverage and that little bit more pigmentation from the color. As you can see, I'm also using the tip of my brush to make sure that we don't let any of that product touch the cuticles or the sidewall area, because you want to avoid any product going into those areas, as it is going to cause lifting, and constantly having a product touching the skin and cuticles can lead to overexposure and allergies. Now that I'm happy with that nail bed area, we're going to move on to the marble. So for the marble, I'm picking up smaller, wetter beads of acrylic and placing them down on the nail. And I want my marble to go off to one side, but I don't want to blend it in like a fade because we're going to come across with some glitter. So once I've picked up and placed down my wetter beads of acrylic, I'm going to clean off my brush, bring it to a bit more of a point, and then pull through those colours to create the marble effect. Now I popped down a pink, black, and a bit of clear as well. I added in the clear as sometimes I find this helps marble the colours together and just creates a bit more of a softer effect, especially when you're using very pigmented colours like black. So again, placing down those beads, and then I like to place down the clear last because I'm kind of just pulling this through. It's just helping pull through that marble. Sometimes I'll place down a little bit more clear if I want there to be more clearer spaces in the marble. But for this particular marble, I was only really adding the clear just to soften everything a little bit because I didn't want it to look too harsh or too bright, if that makes sense. So we're going to continue that as we walk down the nail. So I'm always picking up fairly small size beads of acrylic, but mainly the thing to focus on when you're doing as a marble is you want them to be a little bit wetter because you don't want them to start setting when you place them down on the nail. You want to make sure you've got enough time to be able to swirl through them and create the marble effect. Then I'm going to just take the brush and very gently pat the sides of the nail whilst the acrylic is still wet. This is just to help keep your shape. So if you allow your marble to kind of flow off the nail, then you're going to end up with a lot more filing to do because you're going to have those rough edges that you're going to have to file more crisp. So just by giving the marble a gentle pat, it's going to keep it all into place and help keep the shape that you've created with your clear base. Then next up, I want to add in some glitters. So on the previous set, I did mention that I use this gorgeous glitter called Mr. Grey, but I don't have a clue where it's from. It's been in my collection absolutely ages, but it's a gorgeous black and holographic silver glitter mix, but I just have no clue where it's from. So I'm picking it up with small wet beads of acrylic, and when I say small, I mean teeny tiny beads of acrylic, just enough on the very tip of your brush to be able to pick that glitter up. Because I don't want to add lots of glitter, I just want it to kind of flow along the edge of that marble and just a little bit going through the marble. Then if you want to add a little bit more glitter, you can just pick up another small bead of acrylic and your glitter. Then on top of that Mr. Grey mix, I'm picking up these beautiful iridescent pink hexes from Charlie's Nail Art. These ones are called Pink Mermaid, and they are just a pot of iridescent pink hexes. It's such a pretty mix. I love adding these in with other glitters, especially holographic ones, because the iridescent ones give off a different effect to what the holographic ones do. And I do also have very similar to these then the pink Mylar. So these are very similar to Mylar, except for they have the hexagon shape. So I'm just placing them down, and I loved how pretty they looked. And then I'm going to leave those to set for a few minutes just to make sure everything's held in place with the glitters and the marble before I come in and encapsulate. So before encapsulating, I like to wipe over the nail with my wet brush. This is just going to help the clear acrylic flow around those glitter pieces and down the nail. Then I'm picking up my bead of clear acrylic, placing this down roughly in the center of the nail, blending it back slightly, and then we're going to start patting and pulling it down towards the tip of the nail. So you can see I'm very gently patting the top of the bead and walking that down. You want to keep your motion with your brush quite gentle, because if you pull the acrylic too harsh, you're going to pull a lot of it off, which is going to just waste product, because you're then going to need to come in and apply more. So you want to have quite a gentle, firm motion when you are patting and walking your acrylic down the nail. Then I'm going to come in with my next bead of acrylic and place this down in the apex area. I'm kind of not taking this right up into the cuticle area because I've already got enough thickness built up in the cuticle area. Nothing there needs to be encapsulated because I've not applied no glitters there. And the nude acrylic that I used is a strength powder, so we don't need to encapsulate for strength. So I'm kind of just blending that in, but I don't need to add any unnecessary product there. So with that apex bead, I've just placed it down, left a majority of it there to build up that apex area, and then I'm just very gently pulling and blending the top of that bead of acrylic down into the previous bead of acrylic, so that we've got a nice smooth transition between the two beads of acrylic. And then at this point, what I like to do is kind of just check the nail from all angles and make sure there's not any areas that maybe have any dips or need a little bit more product. In this case, there was a little dip in my acrylic right where I placed that bead of acrylic, so I come in with another bead of acrylic just to make sure everything was built up nice and evenly. Then off camera, I did do all of the filing. If you want to see the filing and buffing, then do check out the video for the previous 4 nails, which was the last one uploaded on my channel, because that I did include some filing. So once I had filed, buffed and cleaned up the nail, we're ready to come in and apply our top coat, which is going to really bring a design like this to life, because it's going to make all of those glitters come back to their sparkly gorgeousness. So I'm using the Wowbao top coat, and I'm just going to apply a thin layer of this to all of the nail. Again, you want to be really careful that you're not getting any of this on the cuticle or skin. If you do happen to get any on the cuticle or skin, then just make sure to clean it off with some alcohol before popping it into cure. Once it has cured, I'm then going to come in and apply my cuticle oil. I'm going to give this a good rub into all of that cuticle and skin area, and then that is the finished result. So I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do check out the previous one if you haven't already. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you did. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love, take care, and I shall hopefully see you all again very soon. Bye bye.